Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve. This is a podcast where we help you navigate the often complex world of buying, selling and renting real estate. So, I'm Steve Athanates. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. Today we're going to talk about what happened in the Ipswich real estate market in April 2023. So we're talking about how many properties we listed, how many we sold, the dollar value of that, basically what's happening in the market itself, okay, and what's happening in the rental market because everyone's interested. I'm joined today by Matthew Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing.
He got it right.
Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming along. So, mate, let's get into it.
Yep.
I think you wanted to ask me a series of questions.
Yes. I guess let's start with how did the market go last month? How did you find it out there selling and getting appraisals and?
Yeah, look, overall, generally really quite good, still very strong.
Yep.
So to give you an idea, obviously 30 days in April, we listed 50 Ipswich properties in April.
Yep.
So not quite 2 a day. But the good news is we actually sold 60 Ipswich homes over the course of those 30 days, so 2 a day. And that was $36.35 million worth of Ipswich real estate that transacted for our company in April 2023, which is about the same as what we did in March.
Yeah, wow.
So the market's still really strong.
Strong, yeah.
Really strong.
Holding strong, that's good. And so what are you finding out there? I know we were talking off air before about it, but you were saying that you're finding people maybe are a little bit hesitant at the moment, or there's a bit of hesitation in the market to maybe list their property or, want to bring their property to market now.
Yeah, look, we've talked about this a fair bit. When people are unsure about what's happening, and we've had all sorts of conversations about interest rates and inflation and all those sorts of things, unemployment rates, all the things that impact day-to-day living. But for when people are unsure about what to do, we're finding that a lot of the time they just do nothing.
Yeah.
So how does that translate into our Ipswich real estate market? We're probably finding that there's less properties for sale than we thought would have come to the market in April.
Yep. Even
though we still listed 50, we really thought there would have been more than that. And for, I guess, the consumer, what does that mean? There's still a really strong number of buyers, but there's physically less properties to choose from. Yep. So even though there's strong demand, and we've discussed this in the past, there's roughly 40 to 45% less stock this time this year than there was 12 months ago. And it's funny, I looked at our listings for May. So obviously we've just jumped into May. Today's the 2nd. Yes. In May last year, believe it or not, we listed 85 properties.
Yeah, wow.
In 31 days.
Yeah.
So close to 3 a day.
Yeah.
I promise you, we'll do this podcast next month.
Yep.
I'm very, very confident we won't list 85 this month.
Yes.
So the market conditions have changed. And truthfully, we're really quite happy if we're getting in that sort of 40 to 50 range.
Yep.
85 in today's market. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So it's changing.
Yeah. And do you think that's related, obviously, people waiting for the interest rate announcements? Obviously, inflation is a problem where we're experiencing high cost of living, all that sort of stuff. So do you think people are just bunkering down for now?
Yeah, look, I really do think so. We've got this combination of things about to happen where we've got a lot of people about to come out of fixed terms. And we said May is the biggest month. There's something like 80,000 Australian families that are about to exit out of a fixed term rate. So for some of those people, they're going to jump out sub 2%.
Yes.
And with today's interest rate rise, they're going to be at 6% on a variable rate or thereabouts. So for some of these people, there's going to be, basically almost a tripling of their mortgage repayment.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt a lot of people, which is really sad, but unfortunately that's the reality of what's about to happen. So over the coming months, I think at the moment people are very unsure.
Yep.
I don't think people are going to necessarily panic in May. They'll make their payment in May. They'll make their payment in June, thinking this is really starting to hurt. Fortunately, Australia's got the highest level of savings, personal savings, since the records were created. So people are sitting on a reasonable amount of savings.
Yeah.
But after 1, 2, maybe even 3 months, they're going to start to exhaust their savings, and some of these people are going to start to think, well, what do? I can't keep maintaining this. Do I sell the family home now? or
Yep.
do I sell the investment property now
Yep.
before it's too late?
Yes.
So yeah, I do think we will see over the coming months more stock come to market, but right now the market's a little quiet. It's a little patchy in terms of the number of inquiries, both for people wanting to buy
Yep.
and to sell.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a bit of a strange market right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still very strong, but strange.
And while we're speaking of strong, we were talking off air before, and you suggested that pricing though is still holding. So the
Yeah.
value of the properties isn't dropping like people are thinking. There seems to be this understanding in the market, or people have this idea that prices are going to crash.
Yeah, look, I don't know where that's coming from, to be truthful. Prices haven't dropped at all, and in some markets they're actually still increasing. Not massively, but a percentage of a point here and there. But depending on the value of the property, even 1% can be a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
So the market is definitely not crashing. For all those people out there who think the market is going to crash, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I think that's wrong.
Yep.
We're talking to some people at open homes, and they're saying, "Oh, I'm going to wait 3 to 6 months, and I'll buy this property 30% less than it is today." We're saying, I'm not sure who you're talking to, but we don't believe that's true at all.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, realestate.com is saying, even if we did have a series of events which continued to occur, worst case scenario, even in our Ipswich market, which is where we're all based, 5%, probably worst case scenario, 10% drop.
Yep.
If that happens.
Yes.
And at this stage, the Ipswich market is the best performing market in Queensland.
Yep.
Okay, so we're not dropping at all.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
other areas like the Sunshine Coast and that are suffering bigger drops than us. Like in the 6% range, we've dropped like 0.6%.
Yep.
So it's basically nothing.
Yes.
So, but we'll see what happens. Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting to hear what these people's perception is out there, I guess. All right, so we've talked about the selling side of things. So what about rentals? What's happening in the rental market? Because
Yep.
obviously, a couple of months ago we were talking about people lining up. There was, 40, 50 people attending open homes for rentals and, just trying to get in to see them. So
Yeah, a severe lack of supply.
Yep.
Good news for tenants today in today's current real estate market is we've seen a lot of properties, particularly in say our new home areas, your Ripley, South Ripley, Deebing Heights, those sorts of areas. We've seen a supply of housing come into the marketplace,
Yep.
which we hadn't had before. So there isn't a huge shortage like there was. So the good news is prices have stopped going up.
Yep.
They're not necessarily coming down. There's not an oversupply, there's just a good supply.
Yes.
So effectively for tenants, there's a bit of good news there in terms of the fact that prices aren't continuing to rise. And look, if you do all the right things, get to the open home on time, be punctual, present your application, give us all the information that we require straight away, there's a really good chance that you'll get a rental quite quickly in today's market.
yeah. Well, it's good to know. That's
Positive,
good to know
positive news for tenants.
for renters.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So they've had a bit of a hard time
Yes.
the last sort of 6 to 12 months. It's been
Yeah.
fairly rough for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I had for you.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else you want to share about what's going on in the market or what you're seeing out there.
Look, overall, all I would say is we're still very, very positive about the overall feel of the market. Pricing is still really quite strong. Okay, we're not seeing a reduction. So for anyone wanting to sell, never been a better time than right now. At the moment, you can still sell roughly in isolation. In the next 3 months, we will see a lot more competition in the marketplace.
Yep.
So even at the moment, let's say, for example, we had a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car, low-set brick in Brassel. If you search realestate.com right now, you might be able to find 12. Okay, which is not a lot. 12 houses.
Yes.
It's not a lot. You come back in 3 months, you might find 45.
Yeah.
Okay, so where all of a sudden, the supply could triple or even quadruple.
Yep.
That's what's going to affect pricing, because effectively some investment owners are going to say, I've had enough, I want out.
Mm.
Some owners may say the same thing who are paying a mortgage. And remembering, not everyone has a mortgage. There's going to be plenty of people out there who are not affected by interest rates at all.
Yes, that's right.
Right? So not at all. So it's not like everyone's just going to dump their home. It's not true, because there's a lot of people they're fortunate, they've saved and they've paid off their home. To them, it doesn't matter whether interest rates go up, down, or sideways. It's irrelevant to them.
Yes.
But for people who are in the market, who as investors or maybe even first homeowners, where their level of affordability has unfortunately been surpassed, some of those people may be forced to let go of their homes.
Yeah.
That's when we'll see competition increase. But overall, the Ipswich market is super strong. You can buy with confidence, you can sell with confidence, and that's the good news.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, beautiful. Well, thanks for tuning in. Now, to hear and see more of what we're talking about on the couch with Steve, please subscribe below here. Special thanks to our guest, Matthew Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing.
Yeah, thanks.
If you need help with any of your businesses, Matt does all my social media stuff. Here we are together again today. So
Yes.
Big shout out to Matthew and his team. Now, if you have an opinion about anything that you've heard or seen on today's episode, please feel free to reach out. We want to know what you're thinking about what we're presenting to you and whether you think we're right, wrong, or indifferent. So please stay tuned for more on the couch with Steve.